Hello again. Let's talk about 7 simple tips to craft emails to drive conversions. So what you want to do is be able to start to write emails pretty consistently, so that you're able to get higher and higher conversions. And a lot of it is conversion essentially means that someone clicks on your CTA and goes to the next step. It can happen for just content emails. It can happen for sales emails, across the board. And so let's go through those 7 things so that you can use these for your emails as well and see if you're missing any. So first of all, start with a clear goal. So you always want to have, what are you going to be doing with this email or email sequence? Are you, when you're planning it out, focus on what you're going to promote, what you're going to talk about, and how you're going to, what each email is going to be about. And so if it's just a one-off email, then great. Just think about what is the end goal you want them to do. Do you want to click on a link? Do you want to click on a button? Do you want to, what page do you want them to go to? Make sure you have a really good idea what it is, because then it makes the email writing a lot easier, because now you're going to then have a idea of what you want them to do. Like the 7 habits of highly effective people, one of them is start with the end in mind. So you want to start with, where you want people to go after you read your email. So make sure that you do that, and so that you can craft it in a way that it's a clear, understandable purpose, and then it's promoting the product in a very understandable fashion to the reader. Because the last thing you want to do is, nobody understands your emails like you will. They're going to come in, maybe they've been on your list for a while, and so they may understand your style. But that email, who knows how it's written? So you want to make it so that a person that reads it knows what to do next. Okay, and so only one call to action, one thing. If you do multiple goals on the same email, it will become confusing. Next is making sure that you really do a great job on the subject line. Subject line is the number one thing people see, and if they don't open your email, everything is lost. That's the first thing you always want to make sure. And again, in copywriting, the whatever is the line before is to get you the right to read the next line, and your subject line is the first line. As it comes through, people see the subject line and then they decide what it is. So make sure you spend a lot of time on that, because otherwise you won't. People just pass it over. You want to use a lot of curiosity driven. So it's like, if you're gonna doubling your sales instead of hourly updates, for example, or even using numbers. Numbers are great. If you can have a number, how to up your email open rates by 300%, or 7 easy tips to, driving more traffic or something like that, those are going to get great open rates. So those are the things that you can do that has a lot of curiosity, it has specificity, and it has the numbers are great. For some reason, we are very numbers driven, and so anytime we see a number in the subject line, normally it gets a higher open rate. And then next, when you're open with some value. You don't want to just go straight to, hey, buy my stuff. Write a story, talk about different things that are there. How are you going to get to that point? It's like, as you're like on a date or something like that, you just don't try to close them on, what. So you want to start to create a conversation. You're writing to, your list, right, as though you're talking to a single person in a conversation. So write a story, write, what is going. So if you're going to promote a product, you can write a story about how you decided to promote that product, or one of the highlights of the product is one of the benefits, and write a story about that. That's really what you want to do, because what it's going to do is it's going to be, you can have a story that's going to be a problem that you solved with this product, and it's like, oh wow, that's great, it's relatable. People like stories. People like, to get an idea, what's behind the product versus in just being sold, because they may or may not know you enough, and so that's why you want to do that. And it just adds a lot more of a relationship to your list, because now they know more about you. They have a story that it connects you to the product, and so it just helps with overall conversions in the short and long term. The next thing is use personalization, um, thoughtfully, And you can go beyond the name. You can, use like where they're at, where they're living, if you have that information, any kind of interests or anything that you have, any information that you've accumulated from your people on your list. That's really what you're going to be able to use and personalize it for them, and do it in such a way that is subtle, not like not to feel like it's like, oh, okay, they're just using all my name, and don't use it multiple times. And I've had emails where like my name will be in like bunches of places. It's like, did you know, Brian, that this is yours, Brian? It's like they peppered it through the entire uh, um, email, and it was like, okay, well, I know you know my name, that's great, but if you do it a couple times, then that actually adds a lot. And then if you have other information, you can use that too, and that helps quite a bit. And of course, I always talk about this, but it's always worth repeating, is focusing on benefits and over the features. So yes, there's features to everything that you have, and you know them really well, but the benefits is really what the people are buying it for. So it's like you talk about, I want to buy a drill. I'm not buying all the features of the drill. I want the end result, which is usually a hole somewhere that I need to make a hole in, and then or like maybe you're using it as a screwdriver or something like that. So there's multiple benefits of a drill, and so you want to talk about those versus like, oh, okay, it's like the drill has so many RPMs and the motor is rated at this, and those are interesting features, but it doesn't really give an idea what the benefit is. And so if you focus on the benefits, then you can back it up with the features. That's going to go well with your readers, because they'll know more about what it can do for them versus trying to get them to buy on the features, because they don't really want it for that. They don't really know that they need it until they understand, well, the benefit is what I'm really looking for. And of course, 6 is we want to have the layout be easy to read and follow. So don't use anything overcomplicated. Keep it simple. Usually white background, black lettering with light gray. Uh, you know, background outside of that, you can just use black and white. Anything that is usually pretty easy to follow. And if you want to use like good color schemes, consumer electronics is probably the best field of, they know they sell to the masses and they need to appeal to the largest number of people. So look at those types of sites. Apple.com is probably the best one. They are really, really into making their site super simple. And you'll see, as an advanced company, that they are using just simple colors, 2 colors, maybe 3, and that's it. It's everything super clean and nice and very straightforward. And so you can utilize those types of layouts, and that it's what works. They're selling to millions and millions of people, so why not utilize what's already there? So make sure you're making it. And if you also want, say you're in e-commerce, the other site that you could use is Amazon. Amazon sells to many millions of people. They're the biggest e-commerce store online. So why not utilize a color scheme of people that are that have that same kind of that are reaching out to the most people. Obviously they're doing things the right way, and people are attuned to those colors as well. So not only are they, the biggest in the market, but they're also the market maker as well. So the more you can be in line with the things that people are used to, the better your conversions are going to be. And lastly, always have a good, clear call to action. A good CTA is always going to help people go to the next level. You've crafted this great email, and at the end, you don't do a clear CTA and what you want them to do next, and they just read it and they like it, but they do nothing. And that's really not you want it to convert. And so really having a good CTA that has a very specific idea what you want them to do. And so that's really what you want to do. So hopefully that's been helpful, and we'll talk to you next time.